Imagine a man so powerful that he healed the sick, gave sight to the blind, and even raised the dead. Yet this same man was arrested, beaten, mocked, and nailed to a wooden cross. Why would someone who claimed to be the Son of God allow himself to die such a brutal death? Today, we are going to walk through the final hours of Jesus Christ from betrayal, to crucifixion, to his final breath. This is the story that changed human history forever. It all began during the Jewish celebration of Passover. Jesus gathered with his 12 disciples in Jerusalem for what would become known as the Last Supper. During the meal, Jesus did something unexpected. He took bread, broke it, and told his disciples, "This is my body, which is given for you." Then he took a cup of wine and said, "This cup is the new covenant in my blood." The disciples didn't fully understand what he meant. But Jesus was preparing them for what was about to happen. Then he shocked them even more. He revealed that one of them would betray him. That man was Judas Iscariot. After supper, Jesus went with his disciples to a place called Garden of Gethsemane. There, he prayed intensely. The Bible describes his anguish as so great that his sweat was like drops of blood. Jesus knew the suffering that awaited him. Soon, soldiers and religious leaders arrived. Leading them was Judas. He walked up to Jesus, and greeted him with a kiss. That kiss was the signal for the soldiers to arrest him. Jesus was taken away in chains. Jesus was brought before the Jewish high priest, Caiaphas. Religious leaders accused him of blasphemy for claiming to be the Son of God. However, under Roman rule, they could not legally execute him. So they brought him before the Roman governor, Pontius Pilate. Pilate questioned Jesus. "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus replied, "My kingdom is not of this world." Pilate could find no crime in Jesus. But the crowd demanded his execution. They shouted, "Crucify him." Pilate tried to release Jesus and instead offered the crowd a choice. They could free Jesus, or a violent criminal named Barabbas. The crowd chose Barabbas, and they demanded Jesus be crucified. Before crucifixion, Roman soldiers brutally flogged Jesus. They used a whip called a flagrum, designed with metal and bone fragments. Each strike tore into his skin. Then they mocked him. They dressed him in a purple robe. They placed a crown of thorns on his head. And they sarcastically shouted, "Hail, King of the Jews!" They struck him, spat on him, and humiliated him. They forced him to carry his own cross. Weak from blood loss, Jesus struggled to carry the heavy wooden cross through the streets of Jerusalem. The place of execution was called Golgotha, meaning, place of the skull. At one point, Jesus became too weak to continue. Roman soldiers forced a man named Simon of Cyrene to carry the cross the rest of the way. Crowds followed. Some mourning, others mocking. At Golgotha, Jesus was nailed to the cross. Large iron nails were driven through his wrists and feet. The cross was then lifted upright. Above his head was a sign written by order of Pilate. Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. Two criminals were crucified beside him. While hanging on the cross, Jesus spoke several powerful statements. He prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." One of the criminals mocked him. But the other asked Jesus to remember him. Jesus replied, "Today you will be with me in paradise." Around noon, darkness covered the land. For 3 hours, the sky remained dark. Then Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Finally, he spoke his last words. "It is finished." Then he said, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And Jesus died. At that moment, something extraordinary happened. The curtain inside the temple in Jerusalem was torn in two. An earthquake shook the ground. Even a Roman centurion watching the execution declared, "Surely this man was the Son of God." After Jesus died, a wealthy follower named Joseph of Arimathea asked Pilate for the body. Jesus was taken down from the cross. His body was wrapped in linen cloth. He was laid inside a tomb carved into rock. A massive stone was rolled in front of the entrance. Roman guards were placed there to prevent anyone from stealing the body. But the story of Jesus did not end there. 3 days later, something happened that would change the world forever. But that is a story for another video. If you found this story powerful, make sure you like this video and subscribe for more videos about biblical history.